Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of season 3 of IRL. I'm Paige and I'm the host, and this episode is about fan fiction. But first, we've got to touch on random thoughts of this week episode. I went into that a little bit confused, honestly, but I have something that I'm really passionate about to talk about. Hey, do I say that every week? Yeah, I do. But I'm very passionate about this topic because I need to air this out, okay? This is more of me. I'm going to repost this on all my socials. This little chunk of audio, I'm going to repost on all my socials because I need people to be aware of this on top of this, just like talking about this. So recently I've been exhausted, okay? I'm pretty drained. I've got a lot on my plate. And as does like pretty much everyone right now. It's a pretty heavy term for most people, and so we're all sleepy. I'm also kind of a pretty observant person. Observant or nosy? Like, what's the difference really? I pay attention to everything, and also I like to know the gossip and the tea. So I be listening in. You might not know that, but I be listening in. And a beautiful little mixture of those two, when I'm sleepy and observing, is called this little thing called the stares. The stares have been doing me dirty, guys. Basically, I'll like get tired and I'll zone out. And I'll not realize that I'm zoned out. I'll be thinking about something. It's like kind of daydreaming, but not quite. I used to daydream a lot when I was younger, but now I get the stares. And it's the worst, especially when I'm in public. And unfortunately, that's always when it happens. It'll happen on the subway. It'll happen in class. Oh my gosh, it happens all the time in class. I have this one class that I'm in, and we sit in a little like half circle, sometimes a full circle, and people like get up in the middle of it. It's directing and performance. People get up in the middle of it and they'll do a performance, and then the director will direct them. But since we're sitting in like a big circle, hey girl, just hit the mic. Since we're sitting in a big circle, there are people like right across from me, like a bunch of people right across from me. Do I know them? Kind of. Not really, sort of. Depends. Depends on the day. Depends on who's sitting across from me. Either way, regardless, I've got the stares. It's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm tired. I've got the stares. I be staring at people. I be zoning out. I'm a bee. And then all of a sudden, I snap back into it. Hey, I'm making eye contact 5 times, maybe 6 times, maybe 7, maybe 10, with just someone that I barely know. So awkward. And then I'm like, okay, that's awkward. Can't do it again. Hey, what do you know? I'm staring at him again. We make eye contact continuously. It's like this bad loop. Awful. It's so bad on the subway. You'll be sitting on the subway trying to get home after class. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do I ever have the stares. I'll be sitting there kind of like this, staring at my feet. I look up, eye contact. Oh, damn. So then I'm like, can't do that again. Stare at your feet, girl. Stare at my feet, look up. Hey, it's same person. Same person again. Exact same person again. So I just wanted to like kind of cover that like, if you catch me staring, can we just pretend that it's not happening? Can we pretend that I'm not a freak? Please? Because when you're with another person and you have the stares, it's not the end of the world, because you can kind of look to them and be like, oh my gosh, I have the stares. Like, that's so annoying. And then the other person will be like, me too. I also have the stares. That's so kooky and crazy. And sometimes, most of the time when it happens, I don't have another person. And so then I just have to deal with the fact that I made eye contact. It's awkward. They talk to their friends. I've witnessed someone make eye contact with me accidentally for like the 5th time in class, turn to their friend and go, God, it just happened again. Hey, that made me feel so bad. That made me feel so awkward. I am so uncomfortable right now. So yeah, let's ignore it. Let's pretend it doesn't exist. Hey, the stairs? Don't know her. I'd be taking the elevator. All right. Let's get into the actual point of this episode, because that random thought, hey, she was using that to her advantage a little bit. She was sneaky with that one. All right. This episode, we are talking about fan fiction. Barking a little bit. I'm getting wound up. I got that dog in me. And that dog is begging to get out of this room right now because we are about to talk about an embarrassing backstory. I grew up as a fangirl. That's something that we'll be able to delve into a lot in this podcast now. We'll be talking a lot about how obsessed I was with, like, everything, but especially One Direction. I was a big Directioner. I was a massive Directioner. I would say my top two would be One Direction and Teen Wolf. I was obsessed with both of those. So obsessed with both of those. And then as I grew up, I was like, wow, why am I not obsessed with other things? And I would try to be as obsessed as I was with One Direction with other things. And then I'm like, why is that not working? Hey, babe, it's because it was unhealthy. Because it was unhealthy and you were a child. But we don't need to delve into that in this episode. We just get to talk about the silly little stories that I read about One Direction when I was younger. This is going to be a little bit embarrassing. It's going to be a little bit humbling. And, you know, as a kid, I would stay up for hours. I would be in elementary school up at 5 a.m. on Wattpad, still reading my fan fiction about... I had this fan fiction that I read when I was in elementary school about... I was a big, in 6th grade, Magcon. Magcon was a thing in 6th grade. We all chose our favorites. My friends were like, I want Cameron. I don't remember his last name. I want Cameron. I want Nash Greer. I want Hayes. Everyone really liked Hayes because he was like Nash's like mysterious younger brother, but I think that he went to jail now. I don't know. Or he's like in jail, or he's on parole. Something bad happened. I don't really know. My favorite was Shawn Mendes, so I would say that I'm like in a pretty decent boat. Out of all of the options. He did a wicked sweater weather cover at all of the Magcon shows. That I would walk from the bus stop like this, listening to Shawn Mendes Sweater Weather. He didn't even sing the whole song though. He sang like maybe like one chunk of it. I just listened to it on loop. But getting back to the Wattpad thing, there was a Wattpad story about Taylor Kniff. Guys, this is a humbling experience for me. Basically, okay, fanfiction 101. Someone's getting pregnant. Someone's getting pregnant. That's just how fanfiction works. Someone's getting pregnant. Someone's getting in a car crash. That's like what happens in a fanfiction. You expect it. So basically, this girl like goes on to Magcon with Taylor Kniff, and then like, oh my gosh, they fall in love because she loves him because he wears a tie-dye bandana and takes off his shirt. And then they have a baby, surprise, surprise, and then the baby wears bandanas. That's crazy. I was obsessed with that though, and I stayed up until 7 a.m. I remember there was 3 books. 3 books. Hey, what topics were they covering for 3 entire books? But I was up until 7 a.m. reading all of those in elementary school, and then I also did that in middle school, and then maybe I did it a few times in high school too. And so I also wanted to go over this story that I loved. I was in 9th grade, so first year of high school. I was really into like the Harry Styles fan fictions because, like I said, I was a Directioner. Not to like say this, but I'm saying this. I feel like most people's favorite One Direction member was Harry Styles. Mine wasn't. I was a Louis girl, but But I feel like a lot of people liked Harry. Like, I remember, like, my friends and I would, like, have, like, okay, this was a big thing when I was younger, too, is, like, we did this with Magcon. It was, like, I get this person, and I get this person. Like, and if one person chose Harry, you can't have Harry. That's that person's person. So I had Louis. No one else was allowed to have Louis. But everyone wanted Harry. Everyone wanted Harry all the time. Like, I used to have to constantly... And it was the same with Teen Wolf. Like, you and your friends couldn't both have Styles. It was like someone got Styles, someone got Scott. Someone got Liam. No one wanted Liam. Sorry, Liam. But you just, like, had to deal with it. Like, if you like, came in later into the friend group or something and you were like, oh, I love Teen Wolf. Too bad Styles is taken. Find someone else. Figure it out. Like, you can't have him. And I had, like, one of those, like, Beacon Hills lacrosse hoodies. And my favorite was Scott. Because Scott's the alpha. Like, duh. I need to be an alpha man. Bring back manly man. Bring back manly man. So I liked Scott a lot. And so much that my laptop password, I'm going to have to change it now after this, but I have to say this. My laptop password is still Tyler Posey. Okay, I'm getting off track here. Let's get to this one story. I really want to talk about this one story because I went back and read it this past week while I was preparing for this podcast episode because I was like, I remember this being so good. I remember telling people, like, no, this isn't like a fan fiction. Like, this is like, the quality of this is like an actual novel. Like, you could buy this at Chapters. If you walked into Chapters, you could buy this. This is good quality. You know what? The concept was great. I'm going to cover it a little bit for you. But let me tell you, this was not Chapters worthy. You would not find this in an Indigo. You wouldn't walk into Indigo and find this book. Well, depending on who you read, maybe. Basically, it was called The Styles Effect. Of course, it's Harry Styles, guys. I already touched on that. It was always Harry Styles. So the, I don't know what you would call it, like the description of the book. I forget what they're called. The little, like, would you guys hate me if I called it a caption? Like the caption of the book. Basically, it was, I escaped my reality by reading fan fiction, and they escaped their fan fiction to become my reality. If you don't understand what's happening by now with that little concept, hey, probably everyone else is confused too, because it doesn't really make sense. But when I describe it, it will. Basically, okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. So, the main character was none other than Liza Koshy. Y'all remember Liza Koshy? She was the main character. I read this book when she was really popular. She was still dating David Dobrik. Thank God she's not dating David Dobrik. But basically all of, she would read fan fictions, and then one night she was like, oh, God, I just wish I didn't have to wake up for school. Like, I wish that, like, my life was like this fan fiction. And then she woke up and bam! Every single Harry Styles fan fiction she ever read, every niche version of Harry Styles fan fiction came to life in her life. There was, like, Assassin Harry Styles, Prince Harry Styles, Rockstar Harry Styles, adoptive father Harry Styles? Question mark. And they basically all escape their books, come to life, and she has to, like, find all of them and gather all of them, but obviously they all want her. They're all like, oh my gosh, she's YN. Like, I need her. She's like, you need to get back into your story. What is going on? She was a little bit practical. We love her. Shout out to Liza Koshy for thinking. But basically, they're obviously, because they're like this niche group, there was Demon Harry Styles. Ooh. And while she's trying to gather all of these different versions of Harry Styles, Demon Harry Styles is trying to kill her. Duh. He's trying to kill her. He's trying to kill her and all the other Harry Styles. And what happens if they die? Hey, they can't get put back into the story. The story doesn't exist. Very, very important that this fan fiction written by a 12-year-old Harry Styles does exist still in the world. The world will end if not. But basically, and then there's like 3 main Harry Styleses. There's Assassin, Psycho, and Prince Harry Styles. I'm about to drop a bomb on you because I've got to get into something else. Basically, she's trying to figure out who the demon is so that they can, like, get all back in the story and she doesn't die. While she's falling in love with these 3 different Harry Styles characters. And she ends up choosing Prince Harry. I was, like, distraught about this, honestly, because I was not a, like, Prince Harry girl. Ew, also, like, Prince Harry. Like, we already got one of those. And I'm not too, like, I don't care. So she picks the prince, and I was like, oh, you picked the prince? Like, why'd you pick the prince? She goes in, and then all of a sudden, okay, this is where it gets heated. All of a sudden, she goes in, she's like, I pick you. They do their thing. You know what I'm talking about. They do their thing. It's too young to be reading about it. I found out, when I looked this up, I was like, ain't no way I was reading. That's detailed. Like, why is that so detailed? That's a lot for me. Basically, okay, so the reveal is that, like, when you do it with a demon, it breaks the headboard. And it also breaks something else that I guess you can guess because they always get pregnant. So they do their thing. She's like, Prince Harry, I choose you. They do their thing. Lo and behold, headboard breaks. The thing that we won't mention also breaks. Prince Harry is Demon Harry the whole time, but he fell in love with her, so he doesn't want to kill her anymore. But now, a different Harry does. And then she finds out, oh my god, I'm part of the fan fiction. I'm not real. And that's the reveal. That's it. That's all they have. She just goes, she's like, okay, well, I'm a fan fiction. And that's how it ends. Crazy. Want to hear something crazier? Obviously, I didn't just read fan fiction. You guys are crazy if you think I just read fan fiction. I also wrote fan fiction. Most of which you can't find anywhere anymore. I think I deleted a whole bunch. At one point, when I was in like 6th grade, I wrote Janoskians fan fiction about me and all of my friends in middle school being in separate relationships with each of the Janoskians members. If you're wondering how you know the Janoskians, Jay Brooks, one of the twins in the Janoskians, they were basically like these like extreme prank YouTubers that did like a bunch of stupid challenges that would make them puke and throw up and everything. Jay Brooks dated Ariana Grande early on in her career while she was still doing Victorious. But I was a Teen Wolf fan, and I co-wrote, me and one of my friends wrote a little fan fiction about Dylan O'Brien. And we had this thing where, for some reason, we thought it would be so, like, cool and suave if, like, he, like, texted her, and at the end of his text, he would put, like, -DOB. And so that's been a big joke in my life because, like, Dylan O'Brien, like, DOB. So if you hear me ever go epic DOB moment, that's a niche little secret joke, but now you know it. I'm gonna read you a little bit of this fan fiction that I wrote. Obviously, I'll read my chapter. I won't read my friend's chapter. I'm also not going to tell you where to find this, but if you happen to find it, I guess it's not the end of the world. She doesn't have it private. Okay, so setting the tone. She's an aspiring actress who lives alone in New York. Hey, Rent. You can tell I was too young to understand that concept because that's just not realistic. Hey, Miss Rent. Rent's due. But basically, she wanted to be an actress. She's in a coffee shop, and oh my god, I spilled my coffee on Dylan O'Brien. But I don't know who Dylan O'Brien is. Who was that man that was so rude to me about it? Hey, it was Dylan O'Brien. She gets in a film with Dylan O'Brien. Hey, shocker, she somehow makes a major film for the masses. First audition. And it's co-starring Dylan O'Brien. So in this chapter, she is going to her first day on set, and Dylan O'Brien's picking her up. I'm going to cut in a little bit here. This is her texting. I'll speak like this. What are you doing at my apartment complex? Why is he here? This was not part of the plan. Now I'm most likely going to be late. I'm picking you up for our movie, love. DOB. Our movie? Oh my god. Be your bad boy, Ava. He's the other lead. Well, this is great. I have no more time for this, so I just go outside and meet him. I'm bombarded with questions as I exit the complex, flashes everywhere as I remember Dylan's words, keep your head down. I lower my head and push through the crowd of people trying to find out one of Dylan's cars when a hand grabs mine. I turn around and pull my hand out and reach when I see Dylan. A smile grows on my face, but I slowly mask it. He wraps his arm around my shoulder and leads me into the car. I keep my head down as he whispers in my ear, could you seem more scared? I just roll my eyes. You know, this would have been a lot faster if you just let me drive myself. He laughs. Elle, they weren't there for me. I just eat my words and sit back. How many times have I told you this? It's Liz or Elizabeth. No Elle or Grace. She's pretty keen on that. Enough for me not to care, he replies. Now, what do you want to drink? Iced peach green tea, please. And then this is him over the speaker. Hello, can I get a Trenta iced peach green tea, 2 shots of espresso, and 2 breakfast sandwiches? I'm going to cut it there, but hey, if you want to pay me to write a book for you, I think we can see I have talent here. All right, guys, I'm going to cut the episode there. We're running out of time, and also I'm humiliated. But I have much more fan fictions that I can read and much more fan fictions that I can talk about in the future. So if you're looking for a part 2, you know the socials, and I'm going to cover them with you right now at podcast_IRL on what? I don't know, maybe Linktree. Through our Linktree, you can find our YouTube channel to watch the live version of this. You can also find us on all of our streaming services, on everywhere you watch your podcasts, and Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, we're going to cut it off. We have no more time, and we'll see you next freaking episode. Bye.